Singular Merge, a show committed to pushing valuable news in technology. My name is Adam Richman, and I'm co-hosting with Federico Gutierrez, and today's guest is Antonio Leiva. We're going to be talking about Android development and his expertise with Kotlin. So welcome to the show, Antonio.
Welcome. Nice to meet you.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Our pleasure.
Glad to be here.
No problem. So just to begin, let's start easy, right? So tell us a little bit about yourself so people have context, who you are, what you do, have any hobbies as well.
Okay, so I'm currently a freelance trainer. So I help other Android developers to grow in their careers and achieve their goals. And for that, I have different courses, one-on-one training, and like training and all that. So that's my current focus. I've been developing for 12 years now, and maybe 8 of them were devoted to Android development. And for a couple of years now, I've been doing freelance training 100% of my time.
Nice, nice. I think, coaching is a good devotion. So I really appreciate that. So what got you into software development itself? Like you told us how you went through it, but what got you into this? What called you? And how do you get from there to becoming a Kotlin advocate?
Good question. I studied computer science, but just because I didn't know at that time what I wanted to do with my life. And it turned out that I loved it. So it was a good decision seeing it from now, but at that point I wasn't very sure. I loved the degree, and after that I started working on a big company here in Spain, not related to Android development, but there was other kind of technologies where I was working with C# and .NET technology. And a few years later, I started feeling the need of trying other things. And at that point, a smartphone got into my hands, and I decided to start trying how to develop Android apps. And I loved it from the very beginning. So I started writing about it and creating my first apps, and that helped me start working as an Android developer. And that was mostly 8 years ago or so.
About DevExperto, which is, I believe, your mentoring platform. So could you maybe tell us a little bit about DevExperto and what it offers, and maybe how it's different than other similar platforms out there?
Yeah, so DevExperto is a project that I started in Spanish because sometime before I was going through antonioleiva.com, which is my blog in English, and this was like a reflection of the same that I was doing in English, but in Spanish. But in the end, it has grown. It has overgrown the English part. So now I have more things in Spanish than in English. And it's about what I mentioned at the beginning, about helping Android developers to achieve their goals in many different ways. For instance, I have some students that what they want is to recycle themselves because they are still working in Java and want to start using Kotlin for Android development, and I have a specific course for that. But then there are some other developers that want to grow in their careers and find new challenges. And for that, I have another program which is a much more advanced one, where when they learn things like architectures or testing or design patterns, all these things that we all need when we start growing and accepting bigger challenges, but we never learn them in universities or in regular courses. So I found a gap there just by listening to my audience. I found that there were a lot of people looking for this kind of learning, and I decided to create this program that is helping nowadays a lot of developers to grow in their knowledge about this kind of things that are nowadays so common and so required in any company.
For sure. Yeah, and kind of speaking on the Kotlin side of things, I believe, could you talk a little bit about what it means to be certified in Kotlin and like what that process is like?
Yeah, so a couple of years ago, more or less, JetBrains decided to create a teaching partnership, to call it in a way, because they were receiving a lot of requests to teach people learn Kotlin, but they are not in that side of the market. They just develop tools and all that. So they decided to create these learning partnerships, and the way to access to it is you have to go through a process where they need to test your knowledge about the Kotlin language. So there's like a kind of exam, and then if you also want to certify some of your trainings, they also review it and see that it meets their quality level, the level of Kotlin that they are looking for. So it's not exactly like a Kotlin certification, because there's nothing like that, but you now have some trainings that are certified by them. So if you want to learn Kotlin for Android development, you can go through my certification for the certificated course, for instance, which at least you know that it has been reviewed by JetBrains, the company that itself created.
Makes sense. Yeah. Cool.
Gives it assurance.
Yeah. And I got one last question, and I'm going to pass it on to Fede. But I think you've already spoken on it a little bit, kind of like what you're hoping your impact on the technology world is going to be. It's kind of your mentorship. You're hoping to help other Android developers grow and become experts like you are. Is there anything beyond that you're hoping to kind of accomplish?
That's a good question. In the end, what I just want is that people can live the lives that they want. And it happened to me that I was in the Android development world, so I decided to go through that path. But that doesn't mean that in the future, maybe in 10 or 20 years, things are different and I can accomplish the same goal in a different way. But nowadays, I think that I can help other Android developers follow my path, or a path similar to what I've had throughout these years. And that's why I created DevExperto and all the suite of products that are behind it.
Very cool. Yeah. I guess we'll have to see what happens in the next 5-10 years with Android development.
Yeah. And, throughout your career, we as devs see many other concepts that are not just technical. So what non-technical concepts did you learn about, through coaching, or maybe through the previous jobs, everything that you might have seen?
When you become an entrepreneur, you need to know about a lot of things. And in my case, I've learned many things about sales, for instance, or marketing, or talking in public, or I don't know, design, edition, writing. So there are many other abilities that I had to learn during this process. But I think that for a person that is working as a developer specifically, and if they don't want to become an entrepreneur, one important thing that I would try to grow or to learn is how to do public speaking, because I think that it helps you grow a lot. Even if public speaking means talking to your team in your day-to-day to explain your ideas, or talking in front of a huge audience, it doesn't matter. But I think that being able to express your ideas and sell them to the world, or to your team, or to your company, can help you grow a lot, because it's something that it's usually very difficult for us developers. We just tend to be very introverted, and having this ability can help you grow a lot.
Yeah, completely agree. So now let's shift into a little more technical questions to talk a bit more in depth with the time we have. First of all, I want to give a shout out to one of our Sngular mobile pros, Luis Sedano. He helped us a lot with these questions because, like I said, he works in this way more than we do. So I know, Kotlin has been here for 9 years, if I'm not mistaken. Why shift nowadays from Java to Kotlin? Are we talking about something that should be definitely there? Why are people still in Java?
I can talk more focused into Android development. It's difficult for me to talk outside of it because the rules are a bit different. But in the case of Android, the first thing is because Google advocates it, and they are now moving into using Kotlin instead of Java. Android nowadays is Kotlin first, and they are building tools that are exclusive to the Kotlin language. But on the other side, in Android, we have a problem that we need to use very old versions of Java. It's like more or less we can use Java 8, but some of the features of Java 8, we cannot even use them. So we have to tie to a language that is too old, and we are missing a lot of the features of other languages. So Kotlin overcomes all this and provides you with a very powerful set of ideas and of language features that make our work much more efficient, and also helps us grow as developers. Because when we move to another technology or to another language, we can lack from a lot of ideas that are now present in most modern languages.
Yeah, and you mentioned that Kotlin brings a lot of new things. One of my questions was, you don't have to bring the whole thing, but what's new in Kotlin, right? Because I know it's 9 years of bringing stuff. What would you say that comes to mind right now?
There are many little things, but for instance, some of the things that changed me a lot at the moment when I moved from Java to Kotlin, it's true that I was using Java 7 at that point. So for instance, lambdas were new to me, even if now we can use them with some of adaptation of lambdas in Java 8. But there were many other things. For instance, the nullability that we can have nullable types that are not present in Java, and that makes our code much more robust, because if you check any app, the vast amount of errors that you will see are null pointer exceptions, and this with Kotlin improves a lot. But apart from that, we have data classes, field classes, even coroutines, which is something very specific of Kotlin, but it's really powerful, and it's changing a lot of ways. In many ways, the way we work on Android. Besides, many libraries are adopting coroutines or float, which is like the streams of Kotlin, and all that is getting inside the libraries of Android, and it's changing in many ways the solutions that we provide to the same problems that we had before.
Nice. So we see how definitely Kotlin is something we as devs want to bring in and use, because it brings a lot of things that you said. It also reduces boilerplate. But what about the clients? How do they benefit from all this?